Hello, welcome to the Merthyr Tydfil County Borough Council's Combined Governance and Audit Joint Scrutiny Committee meeting on Monday the 9th of February. This recording will be broadcast on the authority's website and may be used for training purposes by the Democratic Services Department. All attendees will be in view of the camera, and by attending you are consenting to being filmed and to the possible use of these images and sound recordings being used as outlined above. Before I start the agenda, I've had a request, if it's possible, to change around in order items 3 and 4. So I've agreed to that. So 4 will come first, and then item 3 will come after that. Okay. Item 1, any apologies for absence? Councillor Andrew Barry. Any other apologies?
Gillian has her hand up.
Pardon?
Gillian has her hand up.
All right. Jill?
Yeah, just to say I have to leave at 5:30 because I've got community council.
Right. Okay. And okay. Lisa?
Thank you, Chair. Just to say the same, I've got to leave at 5:30. I've got another meeting.
Okay. Anyone else? No?
Got Geraint Thomason and Charles Jones, Chair.
Geraint. Can't see Geraint up here.
Yeah. Chair, we
go
to the same meeting.
Right. Okay. And Michelle?
Yeah, same for me.
Same meeting.
Thanks.
Okay.
Okay.
Right. Nobody else? Okay. We go on to item 2, and that's the declarations of interest. Members are reminded of their personal responsibility to declare any personal and prejudicial interest in respect of matters contained in this agenda in accordance with the provisions of the Local Government Finance Act 1992 relating to council tax, the Local Government Act 2000, the Council's Constitution and the Members' Code of Conduct. And you'll note there A and B. Any declaration of interest? None? Okay. As I said, we're changing the order of the agenda items. So if we can go to item 4.
Thank you, Chair. So I'm happy to take this opportunity to present an update on the draft revenue budget for 26-27, which reflects both progress and ongoing challenges in achieving financial sustainability for Merthyr Tydfil. So this report provides an update from our previously report position to Council in autumn 2025. So firstly, the funding position has improved significantly, with the final Welsh Government settlement providing a 4.7% increase, a welcome improvement from the original 3.1% provisional increase proposed. Secondly, despite this positive settlement, we do continue to face unavoidable cost pressures, with additional demands totaling nearly 3.96 million, which are detailed in Appendix 4 and include education pressures, including additional learning needs and transport, waste and recycling obligations and capital financing costs. Thirdly, we have identified cost reductions of circa 3.58 million to offset these pressures, which are detailed in Appendix 5, and these include grant maximisation in social services and operational efficiencies across education and neighbourhood services. While these measures protect frontline services, there continues to be reliance on temporary solutions which underline the need for continued transformation. And as a result, the projected budget deficit for 26-27 has been reduced from 9.005 million to 509,000. This is based on a medium-term financial plan forecast for council tax, which assumes a 5% increase, with every 1% change impacting the budget by approximately £330,000. And this update also provides details of the budget consultation work, which sought residents' views on their priority services and also on council tax. So the current position does demonstrate strong progress while acknowledging ongoing financial pressures, and our priority remains protecting essential services, supporting education and safeguarding the most vulnerable. So the final Welsh Government budget has now been approved, and although there are some changes which due to timing are not reflected in this report, I can confirm that none of those changes significantly alter this update or our current direction of travel. Each committee has had the opportunity to review this report in addition to this combined session, and feedback and recommendations from these sessions will be included in the final budget report to be presented at our special meeting on the 23rd of February. So I welcome any input from the committee, which will be considered as we work to set a balanced budget for 26-27. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Anna. Do you want to add anything to it, Craig, at all?
No, I think that's covered.
That's okay. Right. I'll go through this page by page rather than somebody's got a question later on. It's easier to do it page by page. So any question on page 13? Page 14. Well, I got an alteration on page 13. Under 1.1, third line down, the last sentence, it states this place Merthyr Tydfil only fourth best. Can I suggest that we take out the word only so it'll read correctly? This place Merthyr Tydfil fourth best of all 22 Welsh local authorities. Everybody happy with that word taken out? Right. Page 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Then we've got 24. There's nothing much on there. 25. There's no 26. 27. No 28. 29. And then we come to the further breakdown, funding otherwise. They're on page 31. There's no 32, 33, and 34, 35. No questions? Well, somebody, oh, right, Lisa, yeah.
Mark is in.
Oh, Chair, I
Right.
think Martin is in first, sorry.
Go on then, Martin.
Thank you, Chair. You were a little bit too fast for me then. I'm on page 31, which is the
Right.
table of additional demands.
Yeah.
I can see a really big number there under education, which shows the individual schools' budgets. I'd say it relates to updated pupil numbers, pay awards, and ALN supporting schools. And I can see the additional demand of 800,000 in the coming year, raising to 1.3 and raising to 1.8. So that's going up by over £1 million of additional pressure over 2 years. I just to understand a little bit more about what is precisely that is. I presume that isn't £1 million worth of additional pupil numbers. It's the ongoing pressures, I suspect, around the SEND agenda, I suppose, the special educational needs and disabilities. Am I right in reading that?
Right. Who's going to answer that question?
I'll pick that up, Chair.
Right. Okay, Craig.
Thank you, Martin. That additional pressure is based on an update of the pupil numbers within the system, reflecting the pay award of 4% from September 25, which was not fully budgeted for in the previous version of the medium-term financial plan that was approved by Council in April 2025. So it reflects those going forward. Years 2 and 3 are still being worked on, so we still continue to work on that based on updated pupil number data, and will be further updated as and when the pay award for September 26 is confirmed.
All right.
So just to summarise, how worried should I be about the columns to the 27, 28 and the 28, 29? You say you're still working on them. Does that mean they are no more than estimates right now?
That is updated on the best information we had available at the time of the medium-term financial plan, the 3-year demands being calculated. They will be updated and further reports will be brought forward when they are confirmed.
Thank you very much, Craig.
Okay, Martin. Lisa?
Thank you, Chair. I just wanted, obviously, my position in the combined meeting this afternoon is as Chair of Aspirational Committee. I just wanted to thank the Cabinet Member for joining us there, and obviously my Cabinet Member is Gareth Lewis. So we collectively had a meeting just recently, a special committee convened to go through this paper. My committee did ask a number of questions. Some of those were noted and some actions as well, specifically referring to the appendix on page 31, Chair. So I just didn't want to seem that I wasn't asking any questions or anything like that. I think we had a good meeting and we were able to ask those pertinent educational related questions at that particular meeting. And I know that Craig as the officer and, both officers, and the Cabinet Member took those back. So I just wanted to reiterate that point, not to seem that I was just sat here asking no questions around that budget. And specifically, as you can imagine, in recent days, there's been a lot of communication around that ALN budget, and therefore as well, just for members of the public to feel some reassurance that matter is also being discussed at the forthcoming aspirational committee, which is on the 2nd of March. Thank you, Chair.
Yeah, thank you, Lisa, for that update. Did I see Rob Thompson's hand go up? Yeah, Rob?
Thanks, Chair. Yes, I'm asking a question on that same page 31. Well, two questions. First of all, that out of there's nearly £4 million of I'm not quite sure. Are you calling them potential additional costs or whatever? But isn't it right to say that in effect, these are going to be necessary budget cuts? And I'm asking it in a blunt way because particularly over schools and education, that there have been assurances, and I even perhaps read something in the earlier report, that school budgets are protected. How can you square that to the public when, in fact, cuts in schools will continue?
Okay.
I'm talking about it's the use of language here, and my concern is that you're not calling potential cuts, you're calling them something else. But in the case of schools, aren't heads and governing bodies going to see their budgets being cut, not protected?
Right. Who's going to answer that? Yeah. Go on.
Thanks, Rob. So again, I know we attempted to address this in the aspirational committee, and just for information and to add what Lisa said as well. So when we have our budget report on the 23rd of February, there will be reference to the conversations and recommendations made by each committee, including this committee today, and we'll set out our response to those more formally in that meeting. I think I appreciate your point in terms of language, and I'd just like to reiterate what I said at that committee for education, is that we want to be clear that we are not reducing school budgets by any further amount for 26-27. So when we talk about protecting the education budget, that's what we're referring to. That we acknowledge the school finances, for a variety of reasons, remain challenging, and that schools have to set their budget in accordance with that pot funding available. But we do want to stress that we're not planning any cuts to education funding for 26-27. And with regards, again, to the additional demand set out in Appendix 4, that is additional money that we will plan to budget in for 26-27. So those lines are growth items. They're not reductions in budgets.
Thank you, Anna. Okay, does that answer your question?
I think it gives an answer. Yes, thanks for that. Thanks for that.
Yeah. You had 2 goes at it, Rob. So,
Yeah.
Right. Any other questions from anyone? Who's that?
David Hughes.
Oh, David Hughes. Councillor David Hughes.
Yes, thank you, Chair. As one, just with the reduction, I've been emailed quite a lot this week about people in the risk of being redundant over the next couple of months. I read the report. Is that staff reallocation of staff? Is that the cut, or is it just reallocating staff to different places?
Sorry, Councillor Hughes. Where did you see that?
In the
Education.
education on page. It's hard to get the page up when I go back. I tell you. 1 second. Sorry.
Okay. Hold on a minute. We're getting that up.
Okay.
Councillor Hughes, clarify which line he's referring to, because I'm not sure. It's Councillor Hughes clarifying which line he's referring to.
Yeah. Is it possible to clarify which particular line you're referring to, Councillor Hughes?
It's up on there. Yeah. 1 second. It's in the appendix, it is. 1 second. Education.
School wellbeing team.
Nearly there, sorry, Chair. I tell you what, can I send the email to Anna when I get it? It's not.
Chair, I'm more than happy to accept any questions offline outside of this meeting.
You sure?
For me, yeah.
Okay, that'd be easier for me. Thank you, Anna.
Are you happy with
Thank
that? You'll send an email to Anna?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Yes, thank you, Chair.
Okay. Any other questions from anyone? No? No? Right. Any comments on any part of the report from anyone? No. Nobody's indicated. That is the case. Let me find my papers. If you go back to the recommendations under 2, Rob, is this a comment? You're on mute. You're still on mute.
Right, you are. Sorry to come back, Clive. You said I had 2 goes before, one today, one in the aspirational committee, possibly. But I just wanted to underline with a comment, and I think what Councillor Hughes says is appropriate, that if there are job cuts, redundancies going on, as there have been in schools and quite probably will be again in schools, that there should be more of a caveat in this report to not to sort of suggest that everything is fair sailing from now on. Instead, we're heading into stormy waters. That's just a comment.
Okay, thank you. Last try. Anybody else got any comments? No. Right. I will take it now to recommendation 2.2.1 that the content of this report be discussed and noted. And I'll take a vote on that. Can someone move?
We move the recommendation, Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Smith. Is that seconded?
Oh, yes, I'll second it.
Thank you, Councillor Mitten. I put it to the vote. All those in favour of the recommendation under 2.1, the content of this report be discussed and noted. Can you vote in the affirmative for that, please? Everybody voted?
Only 40 people so far, Chair.
Sorry?
40 people so far.
Sorry? Anybody else waiting to vote? Right. That's been agreed. I'll take anybody against. If you can put your hands down, please. Right. I think everybody's hand. Anyone against? No. Any abstentions? No, no abstentions. Okay, that is carried. Right, we go back to the other item.
Chair.
Sorry. Oh, Rob, sorry.
Abstention, that's all.
Yes, okay. Noted. That's noted. Yeah, okay. Right. We now go on to the item 3, which is the quarterly update on the corporate and risk Q3 25-26. Gary.
Yes, sorry, Mr. Chair, just for clarity, Rob just voted there, abstention. Is he a councillor? Is he I understand we don't have a vote as lay members. Is that correct? As a lay member on the Scrutiny Committee, I don't have a vote. I was told that from day one. Is that correct?
As voluntary member on the Education Aspirational Committee, that is the co-opted on for voluntary organisations, I believe I do have a vote.
So I think I need clarity here. I've been told that as a voluntary member, I don't have a vote. And I haven't voted since I've been on committee.
May well be different on the Education Committee.
Or through vote, yeah. I'll double check.
Lisa may well have the answer. Hold on. Councillor Mitten.
Yeah, we're not doing a democratic vote today to put a policy or to resolution for a particular council meeting. It's just voting to accept and note the report. So in fairness, you can actually vote because you're not actually voting for something to go through for public, if you know what I mean. You can actually vote to just acknowledge the report, and I think Rob is just abstaining. He isn't noting that bit, but I think we would need clarity for Gary, in fairness, because it's as if we were actually voting for something which does or would change it, like in a council decision in a full council meeting or a cabinet decision meeting. It isn't any different in education, so we'd need to clarify that for Gary and for Rob.
And for all lay members, actually.
Yes, sorry, and for all lay members.
Yeah. So can we clarify that, and we will send an email to all the co-opted lay members. Yeah, we'll send an email to all the co-opted members to answer your question, Gary, for particular clarification. Okay.
Yes, thank you, Chair.
Yeah, it's a good point. It needs clarification. Right. Okay. Nobody else then going to this report. So we're on item 3, pages 5 to 12. Who's going to take us through this one, Anna?
Chair, I'll introduce this. Councillor
Oh,
Sanders.
right, okay. Yeah, carry on.
Thank you, Chair. It's a brief update. Corporate risk register has been reviewed for Q3, and 2 risks have increased in severity. One due to low completion of mandatory online training, and another linked to uncertainty around Shared Prosperity Fund, SPF funding. Progress on some risk actions has slowed, and Q4 will focus on improving these. An internal audit of the Council's risk processes gave a substantial assurance rating with 2 minor recommendations, which have both now been completed. Scrutiny committees and the Governance and Audit Committee have taken part in risk awareness workshops, hopefully helping to strengthen oversight. As I mentioned previously, the Council addressed the recommendations from internal audit and is intent on strengthening its risk management processes, which will also further improve governance within the local authority. The corporate risk register is available at Appendix 1 of the reports, and I believe Sarah is going to look at it. It has been noted by Gary that it's quite difficult to see. I think it's on A3 paper if you were to print it out. That's all from me, Chair, but I'm going to pass on to Andrew Mogford, who may want to add some more details as he's the author of the report.
Yeah, okay. Andrew?
Thank you very much, Councillor. Thank you, Chair. I think it's all covered really within the summary there. We continue to monitor our corporate risks. We follow the process set out in the policy. The policy has also been updated and will be recommended to Cabinet and Council over the next week, I believe it is. And also that the process does involve our corporate management team, and then any feedback from that is included in the corporate risk register. It's being brought to this meeting today. It usually goes to the Governance and Audit Committee. However, with that meeting being cancelled on the 23rd, it's being brought to this meeting instead. But that's all I want to add. Thank you, Chair.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, I just wanted to clarify the court piece, but I could do that after.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Right. Anybody else want to add to what Andrew said? No. If not, any questions? Rob.
Thanks, Chair. Not about small print, but in the small print, am I right in thinking that what is suggested is moving on to further risk assessment? In other words, tightening up again, but this is only after the 3rd quarter, and has already been stated, not all the risks have been tackled, and particularly the 2 that were mentioned. One about online training for 300 people. So I'm just wondering, aren't we after Q3? Yes, recognition we are slipping back, not quite so proceeding so fast, but the finish line is in sight, and at the same time saying, oh, right, we finished, we reached the finish line, let's go on to something else. This seems to me that if you've got a risk plan, carry it out and then move on to the next one. And this report is conflating 2 things. Am I right in that?
Sarah?
Yeah, no, I think just for clarification, obviously this gives you a review of the Q3, which relates to the corporate risk register. Those risks, as Andrew said, are actively monitored. They may change. They may come off the risk register during the year. But that is a a document that stays there and represents the strategic organisational risks at any one time. What you've also got though is obviously the risk sort of strategy and policy that sits above that. So the risk register is something that doesn't really ever come to an end. Those risks stay on and are monitored sort of constantly through the different channels that is set out in our strategy for how we monitor risk. But it's a dynamic document that things ebb and flow off it, Rob, as well at the same time, depending on the risk scores and the mitigating actions against it. I think some of the actions that have become red for some of them are not necessarily because they haven't been done. It's a timescale issue in terms of they're actually being put in back. But we're not saying that those are going to come off or anything like that. So the corporate risk register is whilst it's a dynamic document, that is there as a sort of a real key document for us to manage our organisation going forward. So this is an update on Q3. We have an update at the end of each quarter as well, and also it features in terms of the combined performance report that we're bringing to scrutiny committees now as well going forward.
You're happy with that answer?
Appreciate that, yes.
Thank you, Rob.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Your hand is still up, Rob. Any other question from anyone else? No? Going twice? Any other questions? No? Just in case anybody's late? Right. Any comments from anyone on the quarterly update on the corporation risk Q3? Any comments? No? Right. We go to the recommendation again, and the 221 at the contents of this report be noted and debated. Can you please vote now if you agree with that?
Move the recommendation, Chair.
Sorry,
Chair.
sorry. Yeah, sorry.
Bill. Sorry, Bill.
Yeah. You moving, Bill?
Yes, Chair.
And who was seconding?
I'll second. Chair, also to note as well, I've double checked in the Constitution and co-opted members don't have voting rights.
Yeah, we've said I was going to give the update after this.
Sorry,
Yeah.
apologies.
That's all right. And who seconded the bill? Lisa. Okay.
Me, yeah.
Yeah, sorry about that. Are we all voted on that now? No. So some of you got your hands up. Others haven't at the moment.
We're taking it to the vote now, will we?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
That is carried. And just, well, are there anybody voting against? Just put your hands down, please. Right. And any abstentions? No. Okay, that is carried. We've done 3 and 4. Item 5, any other business deemed urgent by the chair? I have none. Can I thank you all for your attendance? Councillor Salmon, you've got your hand up?
Just quickly, Chair, the sound has gone really, really bad. For me, I don't know if anyone else is being affected.
All right.
Online.
Right.
Councillor David Hughes as well.
Right, there's 2. Anybody else who's had a problem with the sound?
I was just worried after full council and
Yeah.
Wednesday.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, thank you. So I declare the meeting closed, and thank you all for your attendance, and officers as well. Okay.